you can't believe you're told that you got 3 months to live. You can't, like, that's not my journey. That's not my life. I'm supposed
Mm.
to be doing this and do that wasn't my life. But I had to embrace and say, this is my life. And let me tell, since it's my life, let me keep going, God. Give me the strength to not stop. And I told
Ooh.
everybody that. And then I raised my hand. I said, I am a warrior.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl Shanti Das, and welcome to the Mibo Show. You know, MI for mind and BL for body. We got to take care of our mental and physical health. And this show is where we dive deep into the ever evolving world of healthcare, one story at a time. And so today, we're turning our focus to oncology, a branch of medicine dedicated to prevention, diagnosis, and treatment of cancer. The field of oncology has been incredible and has seen amazing advancements in recent years, offering new hope for options for millions of patients and their families. And I certainly have a lot of friends and family members that can attest to that. But within this vast area of medical research and care, one type of cancer has touched the lives of so many people around the world, and that is breast cancer. And that's why I'm wearing my pink shirt today, to represent all of our survivors. And as you know, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, a time where we reflect on the progress made, the lives impacted, and the work still left to do and to be done. And despite the advancements in early detection and treatment, breast cancer remains one of the most common cancers amongst women globally. So today we're not just going to talk about statistics or breakthroughs in treatment. We're going to hear a powerful and personal story from someone who has lived through the diagnosis, the treatment, and the challenges of cancer firsthand. And she truly is a warrior, you all. Our guest today is Bershan Shaw. She is,
Hello. Thank you for
yes.
that. Yes,
Oh,
I love that introduction. You know all the stats and everything. Thank you. I am so honored to be here.
I am honored to have you truly, and y'all. She also graduated from my alma mater, Syracuse University. So what up, Q?
SU,
That's you
SU,
in the
yes.
building. And I just want to let everyone know, Bershan, also that again, you are a two-time breast cancer survivor. You are a business life coach, motivational speaker, author, TV personality
Yeah.
slash podcast host, real estate developer, CEO and tech founder of the Unwarrior app. Just doing so much, and um, just kudos to you for all that you've done and your unwavering zest to conquer life and motivate others in the process. And
Oh,
this is very personal. I know years ago you were given just 3 months to live with your breast cancer diagnosis,
yeah.
and here you are, 20 years later,
Here
girl.
I am. Yes,
Still
let's go.
thriving.
Right? I'm a thriver. I tell myself I'm a thriver. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, you are. And I want to read just a few more statistics, and
Mhm.
then I'm going to jump into your first question. So, in 2022, the Mayo Clinic reported that breast cancer was the leading cause of death amongst Black women, according to a report by the American Cancer Society. And I don't know if y'all know, but Black women are now 41% more likely to die from breast cancer than white women, despite a lower risk of being diagnosed with the disease. This is partly because Black women are more likely to be diagnosed with breast cancer at a later stage when it is harder to treat, and they are less frequently undergoing screening mammography. But Black women have lower survival rates for every stage of breast cancer. Many complex factors contribute to this gap in care of outcomes. And all of this is fueled by systemic racism that limits access to care and high quality treatment. So, again, we're just so grateful to have a survivor, a thriver, and an expert on today to share and just shape this conversation and narrative for us. So, my first question for you, Bershan, is what was your first thought when the doctor told you you had 3 months to live?
Ooh, oh gosh. It takes me back. I couldn't believe it. Right? I mean, 3 months to live, that I was dying. I remember him saying, um because I thought I was just going to the doctor for a regular day, and I was on my way to lunch with my fiance, and he said, I think you need to sit down. And no
Mm,
one wants to hear sit down.
that's right.
He said, you've been diagnosed with terminal breast cancer. And I was shocked.
Mm,
I was stunned, shocked, didn't even understand it. I remember saying to him, what can I do? you know, what? I was like, what can I do? He said, do you believe in miracles? And I said, hell yeah, I believe in miracles. And
That's
here I
right.
am, like 16 years, cancer free, no evidence of disease, going on 20 years. God is good, right? So I believe in miracles. I do.
And I'm so proud of you, and we just thank God for your miracle and that you are here with us, and you are a two-time survivor. I mean, what was that
Mhm.
like for you to get the second diagnosis?
Yeah. So the first diagnosis was I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't tell anyone. I was too ashamed and embarrassed. The second one I told everyone because I was like, I am a warrior. I used to tell myself this every day. I'm a warrior. I am healthy. I'm going to beat this. So I had to do affirmations on a daily eating right. And I was like, this is it. I am not going to let cancer take me down. And it was the fight of my life, but it was like mindset, body, soul, spirit, everything. I got in the line and I said, I'm going to do it. That's why I love this show. Mind, body, wellness. It's so crucial.
It
Getting
is. And
healthy.
so really you took me right into my second question. Are there any other specific like physical and mental steps or mental and physical steps that you kind of took to really put you in survival mode? Like was it kind of a daily routine? Do you have affirmations, daily mantras? Like what was it like for
Oh,
you?
I love that. Yeah, girl, because when you hear you're going to die, 3 months to live, you better get into it. I like literally every day, daily affirmations, mantras, meditation, exercise. I exercise every day. I walk like 6 miles every day.
Oh wow.
And yeah, eating well. I eat well. I don't eat meat, really being intentional about my health. I cut meat completely off. And I was like, I'm just going to live, right? Exercise, affirmations, meditations, and like eating well every single day, juicing, doing all the things for my health. I take it seriously.
Do you
I
cook?
really do. I do cook. I do cook. Yeah, and people are like, okay, here we go with the vegan meal or the vegetarian meal. But I will make a good vegetarian meal. Vegetables, tofu, or plant-based meat, or something like. I am big into eating well. I really
I
think
love
that's
that.
the one of the foundations of being sick.
And do you find I love that that you actually love to eat well, and I have
Yeah.
other friends that have gone through the cancer journey, and they were just saying how I was actually just talking to a dear friend the other day and just learned of her journey, and she was saying that by juicing and eating healthier, and I know it's different for everyone, but like how that helped her numbers so
Yeah.
much because it was able to kind of cleanse her body and get her numbers back in order. Did you find that
Yeah.
for you?
I
Did you?
found that like I juice like kale and spinach and blueberries, and it alkalines your body. So you are what you eat. I mean, I know people like, oh, I want some macaroni and cheese and apple pie and all that, but that doesn't help your numbers or your sugar or your cancer or diabetes in your body. I'm telling you, you change the way you eat, you will change your life.
Yes, I love that. I love that.
Yes.
So also, over the years, I want to ask you, have you been able to influence others to get checked to take preventative measures? I see you doing, I don't know how you do it. Every time I look at your IG, you're like somewhere different, and I know you're a motivational speaker, but like, what are you doing to influence others? And do you do a lot of the speaking engagements?
Yeah.
And kind of what does that look like for you?
Because Shanti, it's my life. It's my passion, right? I mean, I've spoken all over the world from India, Australia, London,
Wow.
Paris. Oh, yeah. Rome, Brazil, everywhere. But it's so important, right? Take control of your health. And my whole mission is like being a warrior. Find the warrior within. Find your warrior so you can keep going and don't stop. So when you see me all these places, I'm coaching or I'm speaking, but it's the passion of giving back and helping people. Because like you said, 41% of Black women are getting diagnosed and we're dying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I want to help save lives.
Absolutely. Is there anything that you can recall just on your journey of speaking to other women who might have gone through the breast cancer journey or women that were scared and then they just came up and said something to you that made you go, you know what? Thank you, God, for allowing me to use my voice and my platform because you saw it really made a difference.
Yeah, you know what? I was just speaking in New York City and a woman came and said, she said, I've never told anyone I have stage 4, and I've never told
Mm,
anyone. Thank you for sharing the story to allow me to share. I was too ashamed and too embarrassed. That happens all the time. All the time. Like, because women, I mean, like, we go through these mental health issues, we go through these embarrassment, a shame, and we got to make it seem like our lives are perfect, and we know they're not perfect. We know people are suffering in silence, but when you allow and speak about it, it gives other people the permission to speak about it.
absolutely. Thank you for all you do. You're definitely out there changing lives.
Thank you. You too. You too. I love it. You too, lady. You
Thank
too.
you, my friend. And I'm so glad that we're finally connected. I know you had reached out to me during the pandemic, and life be life in, and then I had
I
to
feel
take
like
care for my mother, and then I lost my mom, and so I think timing is everything. But I really look forward to the day when we can do something together.
We are, and I lost my father during the time too. So
Oh,
it
I'm
was a lot
sorry.
going. Yeah, sorry about your mom too. It was a lot going on.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And so, your journey from breast cancer led you to create this You Are a Warrior app that you just kind of talked about. Can you talk
Yep.
about the necessity you found from your own battle for people to find a safe space to talk about their health issues, their challenges, and kind of how like your physical connects to your mental?
Yeah, when I was going through this, I was feeling down, depressed, anxiety, all kind of things, and it was just a ray of emotions. But where do you go when you're dealing with mental health challenges? Because you're not really going on Instagram. People are bullying. I wrote something positive about somebody who was getting over alcoholism, and they were like, "That's not positive. Why are you responding?" I'm like,
Are you
"Eh."
serious?
Yeah, they went. It was a whole thread. Then somebody was like, "Why are you even doing it?" But it's so negative. And then you look on Twitter, and they're fighting, and you look. I mean, it is just a mess. It really is a mess. And I was like, where do people really go? So I wanted to always build this app because I have a warrior story, and so many people have warrior stories. And so I wanted to build something that was safe, that was cool, that was hip, where you're not alone. And that's where I built the You Are a Warrior app. And you spell it You Are a Warrior,
Yeah,
WARRIOR. Yes.
I love that.
And I wanted a place where people can share, vent, get support, and get the help they need right there. And that's what this is.
I have to go on and download the app because I know that it'll probably be
Please.
a big support for me. Who did you partner with to do the app? Did you kind of make it your own and what you wanted it to be, and then just had the support of? Did you have the medical community or anybody else behind you?
So good point. I had some therapists behind me, I had some coaches behind me, and I had focus groups of people, right? I wanted to be intentional to make sure, but I didn't want the app to be so clinical. I wanted to be more of a community. So that's what I was like, making sure I wanted a community of support, people sharing stories, people helping each other out. So that's what I did. Yeah.
That's awesome. Do you all have resources on the app too, like where you can point others to resources in the community?
Yeah, so in our help page we have the resources, and we're building an AI component that'll give you geo local information when you need it. Yep.
I love that. Now, I want to go back to your story for a second. I was reading, let me find this article. I was so impressed with you and what you said.
What did I
You
say?
said, I thought my life was over. I thought I was never going to make it in my career. I didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. I saw no tunnel or no light. That really hit me and struck me when I read
Hmm.
that article. And you are a motivational speaker. What do you say, Bershan, to someone who may utter those exact same words, especially going through this breast cancer journey, that you didn't think there was a light at the end of the tunnel? You saw no light.
I love.
Because,
Keep going.
at times, your mind just races, right? I mean, and that
Yeah.
leads to a lot of the the mental health challenges that you may deal with when you're going through breast cancer. I mean, what do you say to someone when they say that? Or what did you say to
You know,
yourself?
what did I say to myself? I was like, I got to keep going. So when I got on my knees, when the doctor told me I had stage 4 cancer, I got on my knees and I said, God, if you keep me alive, I will motivate people all around the world. And that's what I did. But also, I was like, I got to keep going. Like every day I'm here is a day that I'm happy to be alive. And so you don't know the story, but I literally started a clinical trial at Johns Hopkins University. And I used to
Really?
come in dressed, yeah, I used to come in dressed up in like sequins and fur and like heels and lipstick. I used to come
Yes.
dressed up. Yes. Because I was like, I'm a warrior. I'm not dying. And literally, people used to see me. And I used to talk to the phlebotomist who was taking blood and talk to the people. I was like, look, you're a warrior. You're going to beat it. You're not alone. We're in this together. And I used to dress up to make myself feel better and look good,
Mm.
because you are what you think and you are what you believe. And the doctors heard me. And Dr. Alicia Emmett said, I want you to be the keynote at one of our events. And I know, and I was the keynote, and I really stood in front of the crowd and I said, I had a written down presentation. I just tore it up. And
Mm.
I looked at the crowd and I said, I'm not a statistic, and neither
Woo.
are you. Right? I said, I shouldn't be here today. Doctors gave me 3 months, and it was a year and a half later. I said, I shouldn't be here, but I am. And I raised my hand and I said, but I'm a warrior, and I'm riding this till the wheels fall off. And you should do. Don't be a statistic. Keep going. Whatever you do, keep going.
Oh my
And
gosh,
that's
that is.
exactly.
I like you.
Go ahead.
I'm getting chills. I'm sorry. Like,
That's exactly it.
you're
I told the
amazing.
crowd, don't give up. I was like, no, because it was like, you can't believe you're told that you got 3 months to live. You can't, like, that's not my journey. That's not my life. I'm supposed
Mm.
to be doing this and do that. Wasn't my life. But I had to embrace and say, this is my life. And let me tell, since it's my life, let me keep going, God. Give me the strength to not stop. And I told
Ooh.
everybody that. And then I raised my hand. I said, I am a warrior. And this white woman stood up and she said, I'm a damn warrior. And everyone stood up and was like, I'm a warrior. I'm a warrior. And that
That's
became
so
the
beautiful. Did
movement.
you have that on camera?
No,
Did they
I
capture
know, girl.
that?
That was like, I know that was, I never knew it was going to be that 17 years ago. I wonder if I could get it. That's so interesting.
That's
I'm,
that's just, but to me, I mean, obviously it doesn't matter because everything doesn't have to be televised, but it's just the power of it and the fact that, black, brown, ivory, women, whatever, Caucasian, whatever you want to say, like women of all walks of life, women of color,
oh,
just in that room, all standing up, united in this front, right? Because breast cancer does not discriminate. I know we're talking about vulnerable communities in the African American community, but it's just so much that we can learn. And you are a warrior for so many.
oh, thank you. Yeah, it is no color boundaries. Everyone gets it, women and men. So don't think men don't get it. Men get it. And it's time that we wake up
That's
and
a
take
great
care of our
point
health.
too, because a lot of people don't know that men can get breast cancer.
Oh yeah, men can get it for sure. Yeah, my cousin got it. Richard Roundtree got it. I mean, people can get breast cancer. Yeah, for sure. Men.
That's right.
So men, get yourselves checked out. Like, don't. We got to take control of our health. Go to the doctors. It's so important. Preventative care is so important.
100%. You mentioned the clinical trial that you did. Do you kind of credit that trial as being a huge part of kind of the turning point for your treatment for you?
It's a good question because people ask that. I mean, I believe in everything. I think the clinical trials. So look, we can't be afraid of clinical trials because we're not
Mm.
we got to get in the game. So they're building and doing medicine without our DNA, without us. I know people are so afraid
Meaning
of them.
without black people in the black community, right?
Yeah, yeah. So hard they're making these drugs, and if we're too afraid to be on clinical trials, how do we know that the drug is going to help us or hurt us? So we got to stop being afraid,
Mm-hmm.
and really learn about our health and get the help we need, because you know this clinical trial, I think, saved my life. I
Well,
do.
I'm certainly glad that you did it and that you weren't afraid. And to anyone listening or viewing, obviously you have to do what works for you. We are in
Yeah,
no way telling you that you have to do this,
yeah,
but pray about it, talk to your village, talk to your doctors, but do your research. I think that's what Bershan is saying. Like, y'all do your research, get in the game, figure out what's out there, and then you can really
yeah.
craft the right plan of and strategy for your
Yeah,
wellness
of what you
regimen
need
as
to
you
do.
yeah, as you take this journey. But you got to be open to things once you kind of dissect it with your doctor and with your family. So I'm so glad that you did that. Now,
Yeah,
I
thank
want
you.
to get into a little bit of all the great stuff that you're doing now around mental health, and I read that you mentioned that therapy, is still taboo, which it is. Although I think we're making strides, and since the pandemic, people are opening up more. But what steps have you taken, within the app and with you
Yeah.
speaking to help destigmatize, mental
Yeah.
health and being open to going to see a therapist?
Yeah, I love it. And I love that you're doing the same cause. We got to do something together. You know we do because, I love two black women coming together and really talking about this. Mental health ran in my family. So, I was always ashamed and embarrassed about it growing up. And I think, people have been taboo about it, but it's time that we really open up about it and get the help we need. Because as you know, we as black people have a lot of stuff that we push under the rug and said, don't worry about it. Don't tell this person about it. Don't do that. But how do we heal? How do we get the help? We have so much trauma, and it's
Hmm.
because we're not getting the help. So I always say you need both. You need a therapist and you need a coach, because the
Absolutely.
therapist, I think you need both. You got to do a deep dive with your therapist, and you do it with your coach. How do you move ahead? How do you motivate yourself to move forward, right? And not stay stuck? Because people sometimes can be like, all right, therapy, they both are needed. And it's not one or the other, it's both. But you need to understand the trauma you've been through. You need to understand what has happened and dissect it and learn about it, so you'll know you and how you react to certain things. So I tell everybody who's listening, please get a therapist. It is not that you're crazy. If you break your leg, you go to a doctor. If you break your foot, you go to a doctor. If you got cancer, you go to a doctor. If you need mental health or in your mind, you need to go to a doctor. That's it. We need to
100%.
stop being embarrassed.
Yes, and that's why we need to silence shame, as my nonprofit says. And
Silence.
we've been in the community now almost 7, 8 years. Before the pandemic, trying to destigmatize and normalize the conversation. So yeah, would definitely at some point too like to talk to you so we can do something together with my nonprofit and your app. That would be amazing.
How did you start not silence the shame?
So it's funny. So my father died by suicide, and then I
Oh,
had serious suicidal ideation in 2015. So it was after that I went through my own traumas, and then my best friend died by suicide. So
oh
and I was going through some physical health challenges. So it all kind of like came to a head, and I don't know. I feel like it was God's way of putting, my second act and chapter of my life, into my life without me really understanding and knowing. And I had to just really get the help that I needed and kind of follow his lead. And so being a mental health advocate and now just an overall health advocate, is nothing that I would have ever dreamed of, Bershan. When I was at Syracuse, I was knee deep on getting in the entertainment industry, and I was in that career for almost 25 years. But I feel like, our health is our wealth. And I think just the work that I'm doing and talking to people like yourself who are true warriors and out here moving culture in a way that is truly invaluable because you're helping to save lives. And so, I love the work and space that I'm in because I get to, again, meet so many awesome people like yourself doing such good work.
thank you. And you do, oh my God, this is amazing. Wow, I didn't know that story. So thank you that you're here. I'm
Thank you.
sorry about your loss with your dad. I know it's tough, right? And so what catapulted me is my next door neighbor committed suicide.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
Mm.
and I saw him literally around 9 o'clock at night. I was sitting out drinking some tea by the water. He came right up to me, and he looked
Mm.
dazed and out of it. But I mean, you don't know, you just anything. And then he turned around, and I was like, "You okay? You okay?" But and like 2 hours later, he jumped from the building.
Oh,
So
that's really difficult. I'm so sorry. We
yeah,
It's a lot of work that we gotta finish, in not even finish, but just keep going rather in our community around suicide prevention and really how these type of, even cancer diagnosis, right, can lead to suicidal ideation. I think there's a lot of work that needs to be done there. And to your point, that's why you gotta have your full team together, right? If you're going through something traumatic like a breast cancer diagnosis, make sure you have your medical team, and that should include a therapist, right? It should include
Mhm.
a coach, and you need to make sure that you are doing these daily mantras so that you are pouring into your mental wellness, as you're trying to work through this physical journey. I can't believe our
Yes.
time is almost up. You
Oh my
have
God, this
such
is
an incredible story, and I
oh,
just want to ask you, what is your challenge to the warriors, right, out here in the community who may not know that they're a warrior, but that are faced with, a diagnosis or in a similar situation like yourself, and how can you challenge them to have a better life, and just to, be their best
yeah.
self?
I want to tell people, like, don't be afraid. Get the help. Get a support group. Don't go through anything alone. Like I did it. I was embarrassed. Don't do that. Get your best friend, your sister, your aunt, your cousin to go through it with you. And don't be ashamed of getting help. Like whether it's a therapist, it's a coach, it's going to see a doctor, don't be ashamed, right? We get left behind because we're afraid. We don't want to go to the doctor. We don't want to hear bad news. So if you don't want to go to the doctor, how are you going to get the help you need? Like we have to remove that shame. Like you said, silence the shame so we can get the help. What you're doing is amazing work. I see you out here. I'm like, that's my girl. That's my SU girl
Oh,
because
thank you.
we're in it together, Shanti. We're in it together. I don't like. Somebody was like, "It ain't no competition. We're
Oh,
saving
no.
lives. We're
No,
helping
no.
people. No, I mean
Yeah,
anything. Like helping people is no competition. It's saving
absolutely.
lives. I don't look at any of this like that. Come on board. Let's do something together. Let's help. Let's get the app with Silence the Shame. Let's start a movement. Let's do this. I don't, none of that stuff means anything. I mean, it's real. Like we gotta, this is my journey. This is my passion. And it's yours too.
Amen. And what are your final thoughts and hopes around breast cancer prevention and what we can do for the African American community?
That we as black women and black men wake up and really do check your boobies, get yourself checked out, get your mammograms. Stop being afraid.
How
That's what I
often do
want.
you recommend doing the booby check? Because I know I do it in the shower, and
I
that's
do it
really
in the
important.
shower. I do it, I mean, I would say at least 2 times, 3 times a week. Know your breasts. You should know your breasts. So
And
I felt my lump. So when I felt something, I was like, oh God. Yeah. And I went right to the
mm,
doctor.
oh, is that how you found out?
I found it because I checked myself.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're hearing it first. You got to do those self checks. That is so important. And if you feel something that doesn't seem right, go to your doctor. Like, stand
Go
up,
to
be
your
that
doctor.
warrior, like Bershan said. Oh,
Oh,
this is just so empowering. But I do have a fun question. That's not
oh, what's the question?
health related. It's the final question
Okay.
of the day. And so,
What
I
is it?
used to work in music. And so I always
Okay.
try to end kind of on a fun music note. And so MIBO, as you know, stands for MI for mind, BO for body. So I want to know, Bershawn, what song stimulates your mind, MI, and what song soothes your body, BO? So what song stimulates your mind where you
Uh,
like kind
uh,
of just sitting there? It might put you in the mood. It might make you calm down and relax. And then is there a song that when you hear it, it just gets you going?
okay, so these two, this is funny. Raheem Devon, y'all may not know in the meantime, but it is so good. I love
Yeah.
it. Check it out. In the meantime by Raheem Devon. It is so sexy. And then this is corny, but I like Get It Sexy because it just gets me up. I'll be like, Get It Sexy. I'm like, Get It Sexy. Get It Sexy.
That gets your
He
body
got a
going.
catchy little song. Yep, I
Okay.
like it. I like it.
I love it. And I love that you love music because I definitely love music. Well, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. If I
Oh,
could give you just feel this virtual hug, girl, I'm just glad that God blessed you and that you were here with us, that you listened to your body, that you
yes.
honor your mind, your body, that you checked yourself daily. We got to do that, y'all. We can't be afraid of checking because, again, you feel like, I'm just going to ignore it, right? We don't have to deal with what we don't know, right? But no, that's not how we got to live, y'all. We got to check, we got to get checkups. And so this brings us to the end of today's episode of the Mibo Show. We hope you found inspiration, strength in hearing Bershan's journey through her breast cancer diagnosis. Stories like these remind us all why it's so important to keep pushing for better treatments and ultimately, y'all, a cure. That's what we want. I'd also like to take a moment to thank our sponsor, Johnson & Johnson, whose commitment to accelerating cancer research continues to drive incredible progress. Their vision is bold, nothing less than the elimination of cancer. And they're making strides every day, investing in innovative treatments, collaborations, and the future of cancer care. So, to learn more about Johnson & Johnson's efforts in oncology and read stories similar to Bershan's that highlight the resilience and hope of those touched by cancer, I encourage you to visit jnj.com/oncology. There you'll find more about the latest innovations that they have in cancer research, the breakthroughs, and the people at the heart of it all. And I am your host, Shanti Das of the Mibo Show. Please make sure that you are binge watching other episodes. We just had an incredible episode with Yvette Nicole Brown talking about caregiving and her journey with her father and Alzheimer's, and so many other wonderful episodes. So make sure you rate and subscribe to the Meebo Show. Tell your friends about it. And more importantly, just take time to check on your mind and your body, y'all. Like Bershan said, like, we gotta like stay on top of our health on a regular basis. I tell people, Bershan, health is the bag. That's the bag.
Help us, the bag. That's the bag, honey. Because if you don't have that, you don't have anything. So there it is.
How about that? And
Drop the
and
mic.
make sure tell them again how they can get that app.
Oh, please download it at you in the Google Store, iPhone Store. The letter Urawarrior. You are a warrior.
Yes,
And
we are warriors. Thank y'all again for
we
tuning in. Until
warriors.
next time, let's continue to fight together. We are warriors.
We warriors, boo. Let's go. Thank you so much,
Love
beautiful.
you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Love you. Bye bye.